We're live. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, let's give it a second to have some people flood in, and then we can start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here, 1 second. Pulling up Twitch on my phone so that I can read chat. All right.
Uh,
Are you ready?
yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Mind Goblins. My name is Spats. I am your goblin, and today I am joined by Scribbling Chimp. Now, if you could introduce yourself, please.
Hello. I like fish people. My entire personality is around fish people. If it equals fish people, it's
Love it.
yes. That is my intro.
Fish people. I
Absolutely.
am enamored by your obsession with fish people. I think most people
Oh
are
my god.
enamored with your fish people.
I like aquatic life and I like people. So it's just a natural byproduct of both of my passions.
Very fun. Now, so tell me, first thing before we get, thank you so much, Serbet11, for subscribing. Subscribe more for interviews like this one. Here, let us pull up Scribbly Hibbly. What did I have? What did I want to do? Here we
Now,
go. Pulling up you. Oh, yeah, because I had that open. I wanted to have little dancing mermaid as the thing. All right, cool. We're here. So, tell me, Chimp.
yep.
I am curious about your process. Mostly, I'm also just kind of curious about you in general because for those who are here, those who know, I've actually been commissioning Scribbling Chimp for a while now. I like to think of Scribbling Chimp as the go-to guy for that sort of thing. Um, and yeah, so it's just like this is as much for me as it is for you guys. So I'm really here for it. So,
Oh,
Chimp,
um,
what's up?
so okay, so my process.
So
Um,
the first question I wanted to ask you was if you were to describe your job to someone that doesn't understand, how would you do so?
well, just recently, I've announced it and I mentioned it several times. I left a gas station job, which was my main income
Mm-hmm.
for a while now, and I essentially saved up enough from that to now I can. This what I'm doing is this entire year for me is just a free year to focus on personal stuff. But if somebody were to ask me if I was working, I would tell them, indeed, I am still working from home,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to use this year to do a lot of. After I'm done with this project, I'm going to be focusing a lot on freelance stuff. So how I would describe it to somebody is basically I just work from home
Sure.
doing online art commissions. I do illustrations for people.
Gotcha. And I remember following you towards that journey of being able to essentially, do art full time. I think a lot of the pictures of you just sketching at the beach are very, very cute. Um,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. So, well, why don't we take this and basically just go into fish people? You have a love for fish people, and I'm curious why fish people.
It's not. It, it's not so much about like specifically.
Mhm.
I guess fish people. It's more like I love the ocean. I love aquatic life,
Mhm.
and it's more of me just personifying like that stuff that inspires me because I spent um, I spent my entire life on the coast of Florida,
Mhm.
directly like coastline, but close enough to where a lot of my time out and about early on, my had me for the weekends and was taking me places. It would always be at a river, at the beach, just
Mhm.
out. and just appreciating um, a lot of aquatic environments.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, I was able to grow a passion for aquatic life, all that stuff.
Very fun.
As again, it's just a matter of personifying what inspires me.
That's cool. Well, it's good, and you're really good at capturing that. I feel. Um, the specifically, I think one thing that a lot of people would be surprised is that you're mostly traditional when it comes to your art. Like a lot of the art that some people would like, like I was surprised when I was taking a look at stuff and realized that a lot of your commission stuff is just physical. It's like a physical painting that you can give to somebody. And I just want to talk about your thoughts on like what is it like to work primarily in a physical medium.
Well, for okay, for a
Mhm.
while, I did do mainly digital,
Mhm.
and I started to slowly implement like traditional things. Like I would pencil it traditionally and then do it digitally,
Sure.
like finish it off digitally with like the inking and coloring. And just as time went on, I just realized, wait a second, it's more simple if I just do it all traditionally.
Mhm.
Because for me personally, when doing art, it's less about technically easy,
Mhm.
is like what's more mentally easy.
Sure.
And while it is technically faster to do stuff digitally, I don't know. My brain just does not have enough space to learn like a bunch of learn how to like make my own fonts, how these different all these different work when I can literally just get it if I want by
Mhm.
buying the right pencil,
Oh, of course.
by
Yeah.
buying the right uh, and and also a little tiny bit of that was uh, sort of a retaliation against like AI stuff. I felt like a lot of stuff was becoming too automated.
Gotcha.
On on it to automate.
Going.
So no, I do.
I gotcha. Very fun.
And
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did
oh no,
finish?
you're good.
Oh, sure.
I finished my thought.
Oh,
That's
sure.
why I do all my art traditionally, and why I even started doing animation traditional.
Ooh. So you're when you say traditional animation, what does that process look like for you?
Well, it's okay. I call it traditional. It's not completely traditional. What I
Mhm.
do is I do all of the animation itself. Like the ink work is
Mhm.
all traditional. I
Yeah.
just go through a bunch of sheets of paper and do all the inking traditionally. Um, I'll only like pencil out like certain keyframes. Like, okay, I need this motion to end in this pose,
Mhm.
and then I'll just try to cross my fingers and hope for the best
Yeah.
when filling out the in betweens in just ink.
Yeah.
Because if I were to pencil out every little frame, that would be a lot of paper, and I don't have the money for that.
Interesting. So like so a lot of the in between, so it's not like, oh yeah, I do backgrounds digital and I'll do colors like this. It is a thing of, oh yeah, you do a lot of it um physical, and then you just kind of use digital for like in betweens and stuff like that.
No,
Oh sure.
all
Mm.
the inking is traditional. So like
Oh.
even in between, they're still
Oh.
traditional. It's all the inks that are traditional.
Mhm.
What I do digitally is, of course, I scan in all the frames, and
Yeah.
then it's like the actual arranging the frames and figuring out like pacing, and the colors are all digital. But in terms
Gotcha.
of just inks,
Got it. Got it. Got
like
it.
all the inks are traditional.
I gotcha. Okay, no, that makes sense. And yeah, because
And
when you say inks, I immediately go because there's a lot. You use a lot of watercolors, right?
yeah, I use a lot of watercolors for coloring. Like I do all the backgrounds mostly watercolor,
Hmm.
and a lot of my commissions, like everything you've bought, is
Hmm.
all in watercolor.
Oh yeah. No, I am a very happy person with my living room full of weird fish people. The So specifically, I think that here, give me 1 second. Yes. So right now, on the back, we actually have a little animation. You have a little mermaid girl doing a little jig, a little favorite of mine. She's finally happy for a bit, and then of course she's going to die in a billion years or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. And when she realizes that she hasn't eaten or drunk anything.
um, One thing I wanted to do was kind of go, and you have an animation on Newgrounds, one that I want to talk about a lot. It was the, let's see here. It was specifically the one of, let's see
Was
what.
it the RFF one?
Yes, yes. Here, just let me find the title because the thing is dumb. Yeah, RFF, the porpoise slashing high seed madman. That is a lot of words.
Yeah. Okay. So about the title,
Yes.
what's funny about the title is that it's a reference to a tweet I made
Yes.
where I was listing off my favorite animals,
Uh huh.
but calling them like random absurd names.
Yes.
So the porpoise slashing high seas madman was actually what I described a false killer whale as.
Oh, I see.
Um, but the reason, okay, so that entire animation at the end of the day was just sort of me like trying out like, okay, can I make a complete story like on my own, just animating it? Can I finish something?
Yeah.
Because I was going at that point. I was like going for a while, and I kept starting stuff, so it never did anything. So I was like, okay, no, I need to get over this habit of just doing little bits
Mm-hmm.
of like animation for bigger projects and then never actually finishing them. And I was like, okay, I don't care how short it is, how kind of messy it is. I just need to start and finish a project. So
Sure.
I made that little that little RFF and named it that because I thought that was a funny title.
It is pretty funny. The so hearing that makes me think because I remember while I was following you, I actually saw the bits and pieces of the animation kind of like happen along as you're doing it. How much of this animation was like done specifically with the intent of putting it in this one story, or how much of it is just like kind of like, yeah, I was doing some stuff and I realized I could make a story out of it, so then I put it all together.
Well, I'm not a person who plans very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll usually just like start something, and if I finish it, I finish it.
Yeah.
But those little bits of animation, the reason why I posted them was because um, I have this thing where I get paranoid and say, well, if I start this project,
Mm-hmm.
finish it, that's that all the effort I put into it is just gonna go to waste.
Yeah.
So I'll post little bits of animation for the thing I'm working on, not say it's for this thing. Never comes to fruition, and it's not like anybody will know I didn't finish it. They'll just think,
Gotcha.
oh, it's little bits of animation.
Yeah,
Um,
that's super fun.
which
Um,
is not what I'm doing with my current animation, but
Gotcha. I was gonna say,
regardless.
speaking of which, if that's your process, how many projects have you started but haven't really got around to finishing?
I can't really name a specific number
No, you're good.
because like a lot of it too is like, oh well, I'll start working on this little bit of animation and I'll have a bigger idea for a project it can be. Uh, um, but I'll never end up like actually doing it.
Hmm.
So it gets to like if I put in enough work to the point I even remember it slightly, I hope I'm able to finish it.
Hmm.
So I don't know. A lot of like little bits of animation I post.
Yeah.
Usually I'll have a bigger idea for what it can fit into.
Yes.
So anytime you've seen a bit of animation of mine where it's like, okay, neat little bit of animation, doesn't have anything to go with it, and I probably had a bigger idea for it that I just didn't end up doing.
Gotcha. Well, Uh, from that, I would like to lead into this one bit of animation that I really, really enjoy, and we're just gonna watch in its entirety. I don't know if you can you see the stream, or yeah, you're working on stuff right now, right?
I was just moving some files around. I can throw on the stream though. Let me
Sure.
do that and let me know if like hear any echo or any weird audio stuff.
Gotcha. Also, if you just want to play the video at the same time, we could do that too. Whatever works for you.
Okay. Well, I am ready whenever you are.
Cool. All right, we're gonna play. So we're gonna watch it through its entirety and then just kind of go through it and then have some talking points, because I feel like this is a very good culmination of just what you can bring to the table art wise.
Yeah. I've had a lot of fun trying to figure out how I can make very limited animation look good.
Oh no, it's fantastic. Like legitimately, it's professional. Even I'm gonna say, because like it's always surprising to me when someone who doesn't have like, because if you were to look on your Newgrounds and stuff like that, you don't have a whole lot of animation stuff. This would seem like something that someone is like, oh yeah, I've been doing it for like a very long time, and this is just another installment or whatever. As like a kind of first outing for this kind of thing, it's phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. So first thing, this little screen cap. We have a little yellow man. Tell us about the little yellow man.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I had fun. I tried to imagine what a high seas porpoise slashing madman would look like. That's the little sea monster
I love
that
it.
came into mind.
He is a big boy.
No, I love big old like natural looking creatures
Uh huh.
that are also kind of whimsical. Look, I like it when you can make something that looks ridiculous feel natural.
Oh no, 100%. And you feel that. Because like even when you have, for instance, I think the one art I'm thinking of is the kaiju shark woman. Like it feel like you can feel like the little bit of world building that you put around in it just in the character design. And you see that here specifically. Um, Going into this, okay, we have to talk about Clive the Mako super tackle gifts. Or is that
Yeah.
lure? Very, very fun little stuff here and there. I love the, the
Oh no,
one more
I
time.
love coastal like. Oh no, I was just gonna say I love like coastal tourist trap like sort of like sort of gimmicky places. They're always
Mhm.
fun. Um, I like to imagine like, okay, what do the locals think of it versus what do like tourists think of it? And I thought it was fun. Like, okay, well maybe Clive can be like a he owns a tackle shop,
Yeah.
um, but it's really more of a tourist trap souvenir shop that he kind of refuses to admit is just like a tourist trap. He tries to treat
We're
it more like a. I might do a comic about that later on after I'm done with the project I'm working on, but I
uh,
love that as an idea.
we are a
Making
legitimate company. People come here for the quality of our lures and tackles.
for tackle.
Very fun. We have a chat. So for anyone who wants to ask questions for Chimp, if you just feel free to throw them in there. And towards the end of the stream, I'll go in and we'll take questions from the audience. We do have a comment though. Hazy Hive says, "Much love for the art." So, same, honestly.
Thanks.
So, Clive, my boy, he's great. I love
Yeah.
his design, and we'll get to it now here in a second. You see a Little Mermaid. I love. There's this giant fish person, because you can see it next to a normal person, with the massive like 3 foot long cigarette.
Yeah. mutant. I wanted to make sure that people know that, okay, mutants are just a natural part.
Yeah.
And
And
cigarette.
so mutants and stuff. I've been following your mutant verse, as it were, for a bit now. I'd say for a little bit, like half a year. I'd say. I just got to say the world building you do is phenomenal. Like really, really, kudos. Honestly. Um, the I think one of my favorite ones is specifically the lesbian couple that has the little child who is scared of the toilet, which I think is funny.
I am very proud. I would manage to. I found that one day on r/memes, Biden in, because I got to see the whole family of like grotesque mutants next to a bunch of like anime girls shyly kissing and holding hands. Oh my god, it was such a joy to see that next.
Yeah. The one balance that I love that you can do is that you seem to be able to strike this very good balance between, oh, that's disgusting, but it's also very wholesome, which I'm here for.
Yeah, I feel like that's what makes it more. It's not even necessarily like overly like wholesome, like too cutesy.
Mm.
The fact that they're grotesque monsters kind of helps make the normal stuff that they do feel naturally wholesome.
Yeah.
How I feel about a lot of like day to day life.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I get a warm feeling when I see like I don't know natural everyday niceties. A lot of people look over. I that I can kind of emphasize them by turning them into grotesque monsters.
Of course. We have another person in chat. We got Suke12343. Hi, I've been following Scribbling Chimp for a long time, and I just wanted to say you've inspired me to keep working on my art and to not give up on it. So, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you keep working on it.
I mean,
just keep experimenting.
I'm sorry if I cut you off. You can continue.
I know there's a bit of a delay, but no, that's all I want to say is thank you. I'm glad. Please keep doing it.
I mean, I'm gonna also say I'm trying to do illustrations and stuff now, because I want to draw my VTuber getting into antics. A lot of it's inspired by your kind of just daily life comics that you do with the mutants and stuff.
Plenty of silly situations.
Let's see.
Yeah.
One more time.
I just saying thank you.
Oh, of course. So we have a pile of fish ? Farm raised, of course. And what kind of fish would they be if barnacles were not growing on the side? The real question is, are the barnacles also part of the bait? Could you purchase those barnacles?
Maybe.
Sure.
I would not put it past Clive to sell them if somebody offered to pay for them.
Gotcha. And so, so we got something. Hey, Lucy Juicy has followed. Thank you for following. So here we have live bait, fresh caught. This actually brings me to another question. This stuff. So this is all traditional, right? Like just penned out and is it colored digitally, or how does this work?
For this animation, I did actually do all the animation digitally. The only thing that is traditional is for the backgrounds. All the pencils and inks and stuff for the backgrounds are traditional.
Gotcha.
So like the live bait, the tanks, the little shark plush there, all of that's just drawn traditional.
Oh yeah,
animation itself for this animation is
lovely, lovely, lovely. And of course, we come to the gal, my favorite pal, the long neck mother.
Long mom.
Long mom. She's the best. She's my favorite, and I love her design. I was going to ask you, what kind of inspired this design? Like, was this like, I'm just gonna sketch something today and kind of it just became its own thing, or was it an intentional character?
Okay, so I initially drew Clive. Clive was my first RFF drawing before it was even RFF,
Hmm.
and then he was like a neat little like grotesque monster dude. I was like, okay, I want to give this dude. He seems lonely. I want to give him a girlfriend. So I drew this kind of Little Nightmares esque like warped human being. Like
Yeah.
what I like about Little Nightmares is just take a normal person and then like melt them a little bit to create this monster. I was like, okay, well I'm gonna take a regular woman who like works in the opposite, put her through a taffy stretcher and see what comes out. Give her piranha teeth or something.
The story behind them is very cute. I do like seeing specifically the unmutated bits to kind of see where they came from, you know?
Yeah.
And also I remember being there live for the addition of the gums, and I do think the gums elevate the character a lot. It's very cute.
Have way more creaturey. It definitely gives a way more interesting smile.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, and the limited animation here, like I said, again, is just phenomenal. I mean, this head turn from Clive, it almost looks like it's so smooth. It almost looks 3D
Oh,
animated.
that is indeed 3D animated.
Gotcha.
If you look at the credits at the end and then the mentions in the description,
Yes.
I think Noodle Dude, a
Mhm.
dude who actually I'm very proud actually does a lot of thumbnails for Tony.
Oh yeah, no, I
I
saw
was
this
very
person.
I was very honored to have his help.
Gotcha. Like, I mean, they well done in both of your guys' parts. So was this 3D animated and then just kind of cell shaded? I'm assuming.
Uh, he made the model and rigged it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went in and retextured it to be cell shaded, and then I went through the painful process of by hand doing all the line art. And you can kind of see like chunks of the line art points. I wanted just again a finished product, and my mind was melting. So I just kind of, I will be honest, I chinched at some point. I didn't notice too much.
Sure. Could you repeat that one more time? It just seems like you cut out a bunch.
Oh, sorry. Again, I don't have a proper mic.
Oh, you're good.
I did all the cell shading
Mm-hmm.
myself. Middle Dude did the rigs
Mm-hmm.
and the model,
Yes.
and then I just put it through Krita and did all the line art by hand, which I skimmed at some points. Just
My
hope not a lot of people noticed.
guy, you did the line art. So you're saying you rotoscoped this essentially?
Yeah, I rotoscoped what I could animate in 3D.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that. Well done. It's very clean looking, especially for just like, yeah, let's see what we can make, and then you just like, yeah, it looks professional. Well done. Loving these little tiny dudes here. This little plushie. Um,
Uh,
10 out of 10 would buy, and also it's good to have Gator rep with Florida.
oh, absolutely. Sharks and gators are my absolute. I love them
That's great.
all over my space.
I am a fan of the Florida mascot you made of Florida Girl, the Gator.
Oh, yeah, I was just bored when I did that.
Oh yeah, no, it's great though. Here,
That's
let's.
pure. That's pure boredom.
Pure boredom is good. Here, where is she? There she is. She's my girl. Oh man, I love this design so much. It's so cute. A little hobble. Anyways, sorry, getting distracted. Whale. We got whale. Just a good whale. Um, and I'm assuming.
I'm very zen drawing or animating that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to just sit down and draw this uh, big dead whale, and then go in and animate the water.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Um, I was gonna actually ask you, like, what kind of reference did you use, like, for the giant whale carcass? I'm assuming, um, like,
I didn't necessarily use any reference
uh-huh.
for the whale because I like drawing whales a whole bunch.
Sure.
So it was just like, oh, let me just draw another dead whale,
Free balling.
and
Got it.
um, so it's in no way anatomically correct.
No, of course.
Uh, but it's a mutant whale, so it doesn't matter.
Is mutant whale.
I did try to be at least somewhat educated when animating the water to make sure that looked natural enough. And then I also was watching videos of like this coastal B-roll.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the way like animals kind of like the way they swam like in like just barely clear water.
Mm-hmm.
Like little swimmy dude, yeah, like all those little swimmy dudes.
The little swimmy dudes. The little shark. And of course, we come here to my other girl, Dakota, the blood leech.
Yeah, blood lass.
Blood lass. She is adorable. I love her.
I had a ton of fun animating her. A bunch of noodly limbs.
Oh yeah, and
weird
her
shark face.
Yeah, and her joints go in a bunch of really fun directions, so it's fun to see it like move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Certain characters are fun or more fun to animate, less fun to draw.
Oh yeah.
Oda, she was actually a lot of fun to animate, but not that fun to draw regularly. And it's completely opposite with Aiko, where she would actually be a nightmare to animate normally.
Oh yeah.
But just drawing her casually is really fun.
Yeah, just the very long Junji Ito-esque woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way you animate her here is very, very fun. I do some of my favorite comics from RFF are just Clive and Aiko just trying to raise this blood child.
Yeah, that was a lot of the earlier ones.
Oh yeah, and then we got introduced to the little guy, little noodle boy, who's my personal favorite.
Oh, yeah, little biting child.
Biting child. Is that his official name?
I will never confirm that. I will never confirm nor deny that.
Whose idea did you think it was between Aiko and Clive? To be biting child, or is their last name Child and they just called him biting because it bit his mother?
I refuse to reveal any of this information. Do they just call him biting child as a name? Is his name actually BC? Do you have a different name? Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows?
I just started calling him biting child and prefer to call that versus a regular name.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it's very fun. And speaking here, we see the baby kids. And like specifically, I think I remember you mentioning at some point, biting child is like you have a lot of fun kind of lore when it comes to just the anatomy of him. Like for instance, he speaks out of the hands because of course he does this, his mouths. And also his hair is made out of the kind of filaments that whale filters are made out of.
Yeah. What was it? What was it called again? I might know if I just look it up. I haven't.
Sure.
I think it's called baleen. It's like the humpback whales their teeth is made out of.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I do like Aiko's grandmother just taking the kids for a stroll. Poor Dakota and her scoliosis to back.
Yeah, she's very proud to have a bunch of horrifying flesh-eating mutant children.
And this does come to a lore question for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh boy.
So
be prepared for a vague answer.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Does the mutations of the parents factor into the children, or is it a completely dice roll?
It is a complete dice roll. It is an absolute, like, who the hell knows what's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I said at one point that you could have, like, 100 generations of mutants, progressively less and less and less human, and then you can just one of them can just one day give birth to one that's like almost a human.
Just crazy.
So
Just completely different.
it's completely random.
Hmm. Well, one thing that isn't random between these two is that both of them don't have skin, correct? They're just meat and blood.
They have a very thin amphibious skin that's semi-translucent and constantly leaking blood. So they might as well not have skin, but they do have essentially frog skin.
Very fun. Very cool. Yeah, no, I love Dakota. Dakota's great. I like the biting child. You know what? Since we're already on the tangent over here, I need to find the picture of biting child. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I remember when I commissioned this just little picture of the family. It was very important that I got a family portrait on my wall. It made me really happy.
Real quick, I do want to answer a question that I see in the comments.
Oh sure.
Can the biting child speak from both arms simultaneously? Both arms have vocal cords. Um, I I won't answer the vocal cords question because I like keeping their anatomy really random and weird.
Mm.
But I will say I wanted to do a comic where um, it's like his first like performance, stage performance, and he does a duet with himself.
That is
Musical duet.
adorable. That is fantastic, and I'm sure we will all be happy if that ever gets made.
Yeah, if that ever is made, it'll
That's
be fun.
lovely. I can't seem to find the image here, but definitely my favorite image of Biting Child is just the expressions that you did with him, and just the kind of different things of like he had a lot of expressionness for not having a mouth. Like for it, I think specifically the one where he's crying but you can't hear him because he has no mouth and cannot scream.
Just when I first read those, the first like concept sketches that I did.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's Clive and Ayako at their wedding. Very cute. Or just nice.
That was an old drawing that I redrew. It was
Oh.
fun to like redraw them with their more up to date designs.
Oh yeah. Oh, very fun. Very cute.
Yeah, Aiko used to have no nose and no sharp teeth, which was simple, and I needed to fix that.
Oh, of course. Let's see here. Oh, and that's another thing, lore question wise, because a lot of these people they start out human and then mutate later, correct?
Yeah, they all were born, or at least the first generation was born human and lived human, and um, then something wacky happened.
Something
Some
wacky
miscellaneous thing
happened.
happened, and now they're cool critters.
Cool critters. Oh, so the mutant phenomenon is like they Clive and Aiko, they're like they were there when it happened, essentially. They're like ground zero.
Yeah,
Oh, very
yeah,
fun.
they were ground zero of whatever happened. Um, Again, which I'm going to be very vague about.
Of course. Be as vague as you need. I love vague answers because it leads a lot to the imagination. Oh my gosh. Very, very cute. These are all extremely cute.
By the way, those are all from his dad's shop. He's very cheap. And
Oh, I just realized Ayako has face paint stuff that look like a snake. Ugh.
oh yeah, that was when I was still doing like mainly digital.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I see. There's definitely like you can almost see the style difference.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well done. So,
I have to
anyways,
go back and try to redo a lot of my digital stuff traditionally just see how it comes out.
oh, definitely. The commission of family photo. They are adorable. I love seeing Monster Family.
That was fun. I was very happy when you commissioned me to draw my own characters because that was a cool break because I think around that time I was getting a lot of commissions to do like a, again, not that I dislike any of the people who commissioned me because they all asked for really cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
But that was definitely like, finally I get to like I get to kind of relax with this one, just draw the characters that I've been drawing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I like that even with just a fun little commission, you put a lot of stuff into like character into them. And that's one thing that I'm going to say. You're very good at putting character and like into these mutants and stuff. Like you can tell a lot about this family unit just by this little picture, like specifically how, Ayako is like, oh yeah, I got out the nice jewelry and stuff. They have matching dresses, and of course, Dakota's dress is kind of saturated because of blood. And then the boys also sharing shirts, also covered in blood. Um,
Yeah,
I'd love to have see the story of how mutants get their clothes tailored, or if there's like, yeah, see, here's this kind of mutant tailored, like
definitely.
classes.
I can only assume that Calvin's when whatever happened went down.
Could you repeat
Um,
that one more time? You cut out a bit.
so I was just making the observation that Taylor's for mutation happened. They had a big payday.
Nice.
Before anyone can come up with any like system to help pay for like the new clothes that they need, Taylors were making bank.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's look a little bit more. Um and then of course
My
I
cat,
believe there was I commissioned some bionicle art from you.
my cat just stood on my scanner and turned it on. That little scamp.
Speaking of which, here's a picture of your cat. Now you guys get to know
Oh
what it looks
yeah,
like.
my little Chip, my little old man.
This is very cute. You have a very cute cat.
Thank you. He's a geezer and sleeps most of the day. There's
Mood?
a soul in space. Um, Real quick, one of
Yes.
the questions that I see in the comments, I would also like to answer.
Hmm.
How do you come up with mutant designs? Are there any
Yes.
guidelines? There is one very specific guideline to use when designing mutants, is that you're not allowed to have more than gimmick.
Could
So,
you
like,
repeat that one more time? It ate the last bit of that sentence.
they're, when I design mutants,
Uh-huh.
they're not allowed to have more than like gimmick in their design.
Okay. Okay.
So like biting child has like um um arm mouths, I guess.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't have that, and then also I don't know, like a million horns coming out of his head. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have like. So I just want them to be as streamlined and cohesive as possible.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What would you describe Dakota's gimmick as then?
I wanted it. Uh, Initially, it was just supposed to be like kind of an eel,
Uh huh.
but the more recent, like her more adult designs,
Hmm.
the idea is like a weird shark deer hybrid. So she has like the crooked joints of a deer
Yeah.
or like some sort of like animal like that. And has the gills and sort of facial features of a shark, of like a deep sea like frilled shark or one of those
Mm.
kinds of things. Or I
Wonderful.
try not to make the designs too busy or too many things going on.
Oh yeah, and it really, you can tell like you put a lot of thought into these designs, and they're really well done. I'm specifically also thinking of the adopted child of the lesbian couple, and how he just has a weird deer head inside of his mouth that comes out to look at things.
Um, I will say, Clive, because he was the first design I ever
Mm-hmm.
like made. I didn't have that rule at the time, and I'm positive that he would not have that arm with a million hands, or he wouldn't have the big. He would have one or the other.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, that makes sense. I do love Clive specifically because my roommate always comes into the living room and thinks it's like a weird dolphin with a bonnet.
Oh yeah. Um, One of my mutuals described him as Goose in the Bonnet Clive.
Love him.
That was a very fun nickname.
So we are here, back. with angry Ayako yelling at the fish to eat. Um, the let's see here. I guess another kind of lore question. Because your lore is so fascinating, I just have to pick your brain about it. Because like I don't think I've like seen something this like really well done when it comes to world building out of just like yeah I like drawing things sometimes. Um, the Ayako started as like a biology researcher or something equivalent, right?
Oh yeah, she used to go to school for marine biology, and that was kind of her passion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there, and I was starting to do a couple comics about it. Revealed and stuff, and marine life was kind of mutating before whatever happened, happened.
Yeah.
So you kind of get these like little preambles to like, oh, there's something wacky going on. But as it stands, oh my gosh, my cat. I refuse to actually, reveal what happened
Of course.
with marine biology.
Very very Innsmouth when it comes to the like, hey, this is a weird fish. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's a very good point, Hazy Hive. Your color palettes are very, very cute. I am in love with the sea greens and the blues.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
it has a lot of identity to it, and it comes across in like most of your art. Just a kind of like very cool colors of greens, blues, all that, contrasting with the red of Bloodchild.
Oh yeah, I like doing that. I like doing the warm and cold contrast when I do a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was saying.
And then of course the eels come after Ayako. One thing also, the amount of chunks like taken out of Ayako, she has to have a. I'm assuming the mutants have a higher resilience, as it were, to these sort of things.
Oh yeah. The whole thing around them at least. By the way, because you say you were following about like year and a half now, right?
Oh yeah,
Of RFS.
yeah.
Um, there is a whole like a gigantic rabbit hole kind of missed out on where I was still trying to figure out what I was doing with them.
Yeah.
I just had designs and wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lore that's just been lost to time.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. This is what I want to do with them.
Gotcha.
But the sort of idea behind now is I want them to be very resilient to a lot of things because I don't want the bad things happening to them. I don't want them being affected by whatever's going on. It's funnier when you get to see the weird stuff happening to all the normal stuff around them.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, they can survive being bitten in half by, like, a weird mutant gator,
Mm-hmm.
but the people visiting aren't immune to that. So you kind of get to see all the normal people be kind of fearful of what is to them very normal.
Very fun. Very, very fun. And this little snippet is very, very cute of and of course there's Biting Child coming in to say hi.
I wish I got to incorporate him in the animation, but I was very pooped by the time I was getting to the tail end of it.
Of course, of course, of course. All right. Well, we have gone through some stuff. We've talked about lore. There's, of course, I'm sure, many more questions on lore. Is there anything that you want to kind of elaborate to the audience that, like, you're surprised no one has asked yet?
Actually, not really. A lot of the questions I kind of expect people to ask about it have been asked,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. Oh, that was anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
think of like stuff I would like to expand upon or elaborate about, but
Yes.
I don't know. RFF hasn't really been on my mind as of late.
Sure, because you've
Mainly
been really
based,
busy with this one animation, right?
yeah, I've been really busy with the one I'm currently working on. I've been
Hmm.
doing comics about that instead of, or I'm kind of on a RFF hiatus right now.
Sure, sure.
Um, yeah.
Uh, all right. So why don't we look at a little bit more, just kind of like we can touch upon just some fun artwork here and there, just get the context behind some of the out of pocket ones. I think one thing I wanted to ask about this guy, we got a nice little Fiji mermaid here, and you're currently being represented by such Fiji mermaid. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I just found that random
Mm-hmm.
image on Google and thought it was funny.
It is pretty good, pretty good.
There's a there is a whole bunch of like if you just look up mermaid taxidermy, it is like an endless like pool of just like all these different like kind of horrifying, kind of funny, dried up mermaids. A lot of them are like taxidermied, like these chimps,
Mm-hmm.
been like taxidermied with like I don't know, like tuna or something.
Yeah. Now, the as a person that grew up predominantly with cryptids as my superhero, I am very, very familiar with Fiji mermaids and their existence, and they are always funny because it's like the most desecrated corpse of a monkey and just like a fish at the end of it.
Yeah, it's very and it's also funny to like kind of know the whole like um culture around like doing like all those taxidermies, and then to see people online be like, "Is this a real dried up mermaid?
Is this
Are you
real?
serious?" This baboon head with a fish tail at the end of it. You're really convinced that that thing can exist.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's where the design of your new mermaid girl that is kind of came from, because she does very much heavily like evoke the kind of Fiji mermaid. But what if that was what a like what the mermaid looked like?
Actually, it's not very subtle, but this whole I started this sort of animation as just like, oh, this is inspired off of Flapjack and a lot of cartoons that I like watched on Cartoon Network
Yeah.
growing up. So it's like very clear, like, oh, it's Flapjack,
Hmm.
but with like with my love of gross uh, fish creatures injected in.
Gotcha. And I mean, out of anything to be inspired by, Flapjack makes a lot of sense considering the naval theme, as it were.
Yeah, that whole the creator of Flapjack is very his whole story is very inspirational
Yeah.
about like he was able to make the show of his dreams with very little stopping him,
Yeah.
and there's just a whole like bunch of stuff behind him that was just really neat to me. Like he once lived by himself on like an island for a good chunk of time because he, he and the character of Flapjack was actually pretty much a direct sort of representation of himself about like all wanting to seek adventure and everything and
Yeah.
wanting to be an explorer, and he did give a good attempt. He gave it his all, but um, yeah, he's just a really cool guy.
Very fun. The which that kind of leads me to ask, actually, you do seem very like heavily inspired by oceans, the sea, and stuff like that. What are I was gonna actually ask you, that was one of the questions here. The well, now knowing the creator of Flapjack, what other like human inspirations and stuff do you really like cling on to when it comes to your basically just art style and art ethic?
I'm a huge fan of Phil Tippett. If you
Hmm.
ever heard of that, he worked on a lot of movies. He worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on Starship Troopers, RoboCop, and all that.
Sure.
But he's like mostly known for his like stop motion work.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, there is this old short like stop motion animation about like prehistoric life
Hmm.
that was that he tried to sell to schools, but it was too terrifying.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, it is like a genuine horror. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, it's still Tippett. Felix Colgrave, I'm also greatly inspired by. Um, he's very not afraid of just like spewing out ideas.
Uh-huh.
Like just any cool visual that comes to his head, he's like, okay, I'm going to animate this, and just animates it. He doesn't care all too much about like making sense or anything.
Hmm.
He just wants to make a neat film and makes a neat film. I'm very I'm very inspired by that too.
Very fun. I mean, you can tell you can definitely see that in a lot of the projects you kind of work on in terms of yeah, this would be fun to do, and then you just do it, and it's really inspiring, honestly, as a person that always wanted to kind of be a creative but never really had the I guess the willpower to want to get into it. So yeah, as a personal fan of yours, well done, really. Of
Oh, thank you.
course.
I'm not good at planning. I'm very not good at planning ahead, but I'm half decent at fixing problems as they arise.
Gotcha.
So if I plan too much, then I won't want to do it.
Got it.
So I just do it and hope that I'm not making mistakes.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now it's about time to ask for audience questions. So, hey, if you guys want to ask a question for Scribbling Chimp, put it down below, and I'm going to ask them a bunch until we get tired. Let's go. Going back to the beginning from Hazy Hive, uh, who do you bounce your ideas off of? Are they part of the arts community, or how do you find people to show things to?
Um, I actually don't have a bunch of people to bounce ideas off. Um, I talk to Bookshelf about my ideas occasionally. I share my ideas with my friends occasionally, but other than that, it's mostly my audience that I'm just like um, sharing ideas with.
Sure. Let's see
I
here.
would love to have like more fellow artists to like talk about like the technicalities of stuff with, but
Oh yeah.
also yeah, friends and audience.
Well, hopefully I can catch up to you and maybe we can have that talk one of these days.
Awesome.
Let's see here. Next one is from Krakenarius. Number one. The characters and props in your drawings have so much realistic weight and heft slash dimension. How do you achieve that? I really struggle with that.
Um, think. Well, I surround a lot of time. Um, I'm surrounding myself with the types of environments that I like drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So so a lot of times I am like looking at like pictures of like lighthouses and beaches.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of knickknacks around me that are just like things that I'm always drawing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it a lot. Yeah, you just keep kind of futzing with it until it just looks appealing.
Gotcha.
I'm less It's less worrying about like, oh, does this look realistic, and more about like, oh, does this look appealing?
Yeah.
And the more like weight has it tends to more people.
Gotcha. I mean, you can definitely see it, especially in the animation. The I love the labels on the fish tanks, as though like, yeah, this catches X and X, or it is comprised of so and so, as it were. Um, Here, let's see if we can find a good, especially it's at the beginning. Yeah, yeah, these little, yeah, just like the fact that, oh yeah, this was done with masking tape because Mako probably just had some masking tape around. Of course, he's not gonna like get a label printed. And then the safety features of fish and stuff might have been from Ayako. Who knows? Um,
Also, yeah, a lot of the environments and stuff I draw, um, I it wasn't like a matter of like, oh, I need this environment for this thing, so I'm gonna look up reference. It's more along the lines of, oh, I saw this at one point, or I saw something like this. I really want to draw it.
of course, of course. And that's really cool, I guess, for lack of a better word, that you can like you find something that you're really passionate about and you can weave it into such a cohesive narrative in a way that feels like, oh yeah, this is somebody making like, you know, a comic or a story or an animation here. Like it feels way more planned than it sounds like it has been, and that's really impressive.
Yeah. I really don't like having to sit through like the boring aspects of like designing things or like making environments and stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to, the best of my ability, set up an environment or set up a world where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be bored drawing any of this.
Yeah.
In fact, later in the animation, there was one background, and I think like I'll be bored drawing this. Let me just like, it's when Aiko is telling the bait fish just to eat.
Yeah.
It's like a shot of the ceiling, and it's like, I'm not gonna have fun just drawing a ceiling. Let
Yeah.
me let me just flip part of the environment. Like, I think that's not even like originally drawn. I think I really just took one of the previous environments, flipped it so it looked like tiling on the ceiling, and I don't know, like put a couple like blur and uh, spray paint effects on it to make it jive well.
Yeah, you can see it here. It's just the shop floor. That is hilarious.
Yeah,
Well done. Well done. Yeah, you can see. Oh yeah, cuz the fucking cabinet here is actually, you made it into the wall. That's hilarious.
yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I try not to set up to where I'm bored.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling bored, then that's how you end up with a floor ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, floor ceiling. I mean, it makes sense for what? A background that's here for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I think my favorite shortcut, I think it was, are you aware of Harry Partridge?
Yeah, I'm aware of Harry Partridge.
Yeah. He, one of my favorite shortcuts that he does is that he's been using the same flame animation for
Oh
about
yeah.
6 years,
And he,
10 years
yeah,
almost.
and he just like doubles it or like flips it
Yeah.
or like changes the hue.
Yeah. It's really funny. I love little shortcuts like that, especially when it's done in a way where you can get away with it. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, I also, these posters are adorable. How to Catch Myrrh and Sharks Are Friends.
Yeah.
Very, very cute. Very cute. All right. Let's see here. Other user questions from Suke12343 asks, "What's your drawing process look like?"
Um, my for just like casual drawing, like, oh, I just want to draw something just to draw something. A
Mhm.
lot of times it will be because, like I said earlier, I saw something that was like really cool, or or I have an idea for something that's like, oh man, I really wish this was a thing.
Yeah.
So I do the pencil work first. I like a single sliver of masking. I uh, I tape a piece of paper, an 18 by 12 piece of paper to my drafting table,
Mhm.
and then I do the pencil work until I get to a point where I like it. And that's when I come in with more masking tape, flatten it down, and I do the paints and then finish off with inks.
Mhm.
Um, So it's just like any sort of like process for like traditional. And sometimes after I scan it in, I will like Brita to either like sharpen the image a bit or maybe mess with the hues.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, nothing too exciting. Like when I draw stuff, it's me wanting to bring bring a make a thought visual.
Yeah. Let's see here. Next question is by, hold on, Razmat Skellibird. What's some of your favorite nautical animal behaviors that you may translate to one of your creatures?
Oh, one that I have been translating a lot that I really that I find kind of cool is how many animals underwater are just have ridiculous like regenerative capabilities
Yeah.
to like the point where if you cut off their limb, like they can like procreate just by like cutting off one of their limbs, and then their limbs grow like an entirely new body.
Yeah.
So like just um and then also too um like aquatic environments, whether it be like a pond to like a river or ocean or bayou,
Hmm.
or where are just so life bearing.
Yeah.
Where like you'll look in the like say it's just like a swamp or something like smack dab in the middle of the wilderness.
Sure.
Like all around you is going to be like like a bunch of it's going to have like a bunch of birds and deer and bears and like it's going to be like fairly ranged with the amount of life it has. But then you just like take a bucket and scoop the water, you're going to have like such a wide variety of like microorganisms to small fish to like all sorts of like random crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's just how varied nautical environments are is something I also like incorporating by trying to include as many like random weird fishy creature designs.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. All right, everybody, this is going to be last call for audience questions. If we don't have any more after this, then we'll just call the stream end. We have last question, Hazy Hive. What's your advice for showing OCs linked to passion projects? I love all the details you add, by the way.
So let me think. Um, Showing OC's linked to passion projects. Um, I don't know. I think it's the same thing with like art or animating or anything else, where it's just like if I think of a cool idea or I see something that's really interesting or unique, and I want to like as part of a character or make that an aspect. Um, I'll either try to do that comic, or I'll just try to make something that pretty naturally gives off the lore.
Mm.
So like the same way I'm like constantly showing Aiko or any of the other RFF characters getting like really like physically damaged to the point where like their guts are hanging out,
Yeah.
nonchalant about it, like showing off that they're regenerative. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I could do it in a way where I give like this big text of explanation and lore, and it's kind of boring. I
Sure.
prefer to just like in a very natural way, like okay, what's a situation that gets across this information without
Yeah.
having to say much.
Yeah. 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 All right. Going into, we have another question from Suke12343. Are there any tips you'd give to newer artists trying to do art more consistently or just be better in general?
Uh, Honestly, there's not a whole lot of advice I can give because I feel like it's very greatly from person to person. But if you can find a way to make it um, entertaining for yourself, where um, uh, uh, like for a lot of the time when I get better, not because I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to get better at this. A lot of time to achieve a thought visual. So like if I want to say like, oh, I want to draw, think an idea for a monster is like, so it's a million arms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep drawing. I'm gonna keep trying to draw that monster until I get good at drawing arms.
Gotcha. So just keep doing it, essentially.
Yeah, yeah keep um just keep doing it. Practice makes perfect, of course, and try to turn it into something you want to do.
Gotcha. All right, and this will be cut off now. We got first time chat, Pocket Clock. Howdy. Hey, just wanted to say that your work is fantastic, Sir Chimp. Been following you for a good little while now, and it's great seeing your stuff. Oh, isn't that cute? I love that.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm very happy that people enjoy consuming my art as much as I enjoy making it.
sure. Well, that's about time for us today. Thanks everybody for coming. Chimp, would you like to shout anything out? Any upcoming projects, socials, anything like that?
Um, I'm mostly active on Newgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
which is I have it linked on my Twitter, which I feel like is where most people are following me.
Well, since we
I'm working.
have this open, I'm actually just gonna drop it in
Yeah,
the chat real quick.
okay, and then I'm work right now. I'm spending the first first couple months of the year working on a full animation project.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Keep an eye out for updates and stuff on that. But other than that, no, not really.
Cool.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming on. Um, it's been a pleasure, really. I mean, like I said, I've been a fan of yours for a while, customers of yours for a little bit. And just your constant output of just like very, let me see, let me find the words. You are very inspirational to me, and I'm sure a lot of people, of just being able to, who want to do art and stuff, just want to do things that interest them, and you have done it. You can just do it consistently and well, and it's really impressive.
Um, Thank you. It means a whole bunch. This is the first time I've ever been interviewed and asked questions about. So this is a very new experience for me, and I'm glad you're interested enough to ask these questions.
Yeah, and I will have you know, as soon as that animation is out, I don't care if I have to ship you a microphone. I'm going to interview you again with better audio quality. It's going to be important to me.
Yeah, sorry again. I'm literally just using a laptop mic. I'm scared of technology.
And
That's why I
no,
don't have a good microphone.
no worries at all. It is completely fine. You were fantastic. So,
Thank you.
of course. Now, for end of the day things for here at Mind Goblins, feel free to join our Patreon, to where we basically you can have first insights to different people that we're going to be interviewing, and you can get your questions in early. Also, you'll be able to have say on who we interview with polls and whatnot. Um, and also, the feel free to chuck a couple dollars at us. You can go down and click on the Bionicle on the bottom, the Kitangu, and if you want to, not necessary. And lastly, interview announcements for next week. On Friday, we are going to be interviewing another streamer called Hobbytan. Huge fan of them. They're one of the main inspirations that kind of got me into streaming. Just because they really showed me that you can just do it, which made me happy. And my kind of we kind of got a little special guest on Wednesday. Um, on Wednesday we are gonna have Team Kanohi of Mask of Light, the not Mask of Light. I'm stupid. Masks of Power. The Bionicle fan game is going to be here on Wednesday. We're going to have some of the devs, and they're just going to kind of talk about the process and the new Save the Band demo. So, yeah, if you guys are all interested in that, check us to follow and stay tuned for Wednesday and Friday for those interviews. Um, yeah, is there anything else you want to close out with, Chimp? Any parting words?
Dead fish. The slimier and more covered in flies, the better. It's healthy for you. Eat dead fish.
Lovely. And on that lovely note, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.